Recording. Hey, buddy, how's it going? How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, doing good. It's nice to see all your faces.
I've recovered.
It was a nice sunny Sunday afternoon. What'd you guys get up to?
I had a nap.
Nap.
Yeah, I don't think I went outside today.
Nick went to the Tulip Festival twice.
Why?
Nice. Yeah.
And then I mowed the lawn.
Yeah, I mowed the lawn too.
Oh, I should have done
Excellent.
that.
Well,
Probably the last time I'll get a chance.
This is the Couch Co-op, and we drink a beer every week, a new beer, one beer that we each one of us, we take turns picking beers, and we drink that beer, we rate that beer, we tell you what we think about that beer, and what you should think about the beer. No.
Yeah.
You can
We
find
do
our
the heavy.
yeah, exactly. We do the heavy drinking for you.
Right.
That should be our fucking tagline. Anyway, you can find us on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, iTunes, all those places. You can also find us on youtube.com/milkmanpictures if you want to watch a cool video version, which is kind of fun to play along. You can watch us drink the beer and, all that. And we also are live every Sunday night on twitch.tv/The Couch Co-op Show. Like we are right now.
Most of the time.
Yeah, come in and talk shit.
Talk shit, yeah. Anyway, I believe it's my pick this week. And
the most polarizing brewery in
polarizing brewery.
Yeah.
This was actually an accident. This wasn't going to be my pick. I do another beer show called Milkman Drinks a Beer, where I silently drink a beer with myself and then rate it at the end. But I bought this and then realized I've already drank it on that show. So I said, fuck it, I'll save it and we'll drink it. I'll pick it for this show. So we are drinking Rogue's Newport Daze, which is a hazy pale ale. Yay.
Sweet.
I like
I'm ready to crack it.
5.5%. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
perfect.
Well, that's because it's a pale ale, not a India pale ale. I
Are we
imagine.
cracking it?
Yeah, let's crack it. 3, 2, 1.
2 and 1. Cracking.
Ooh, man, there's some effort in that
Smells
one.
nice.
Yeah, that tab was a little harder, but I'm ready for a drink.
Well, it's hazy.
Yeah. I'm glad I brought my big glass. Still not big enough for this can. This is one of the 20-ounce cans, something like that.
19.2
or some garbage.
20.
Yeah.
I got my big boys, so I'm good.
Tangerine and peach notes.
Oh yeah.
Got a weak. It doesn't smell very strong.
And it's it doesn't taste very strong. It's just a very kind of
No.
it's a chill.
It does have a fruity smell. Yeah.
Yes. Peach notes.
It doesn't even taste like it's 5.5. If you just gave me this in a glass, I would say it was like 4.5, somewhere in there.
Doesn't even really taste like beer.
No, that's Jesus. I disagree with that. It's 5.5 ABV. It's 35 on the IBU. It's a style hazy pale ale. The morning after a long night, we like to hit the beach for some R&R. Newport Daze Hazy Pale Ale is a perfect day sipper for such an occasion. It's an easy, mellow brew to get you through. Basically, if you have a hangover, this is the beer you drink, I guess, the next day.
Yeah. It's funny, like 5.5 was never considered a mellow brew, was it?
Ingredients: 2 row malt, rolled oats, white wheat, Sabro hops, El Dorado hops, Imperial juice yeast, free-range coastal water. In 2021, it won the Silver Juicy or Hazy Pale Ale Award at the Great American Beer Festival.
How much did they pay for that?
Who knows? You can find it in 12-ounce can 6-pack, draft, or 19.2-ounce tall boys.
12-ounce can right here.
When I first started drinking it, it tasted like mostly the fruit flavors. Now that I have it on my tongue, I'm getting a lot more of the hops going on. But it's not an overkill on any side of it.
It is pretty hazy. There's some there's some sentiment floating around in mine too.
It's a very pleasant beer. Very forgettable though.
Very forgettable. Like profuse juice, some would say.
Like most of those beers anymore.
If I got to be honest, Dave, forgettable indeed because I thought I had it already, or I hadn't had it, and I already had. So I was like, oh yeah, that was a forgettable beer. But as far as Dave, you were saying, like kind of the, what were you saying about the Rogue Brewery? That it's
Very polarizing.
polarizing.
I don't know if you've
This
ever
beer's not
been there.
polarizing. This beer's
No.
it's fine.
This is a very drawing within the lines for Rogue, actually.
It's like going to McMiniman's, having a hamburger, and getting a beer. It's like it's the same. It's just what that is. Oh, Dave's got his Rona's coming. Everyone's got Rona. You'll
Yep.
if you're watching the video, if you guys are watching the video or in the stream, you'll notice that Jared or Dave will cough every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm 2 weeks away from the Rona now, but yeah.
Do they
Yeah,
both have
I'm pretty
cough
close
buttons?
to. Yeah, I have a mute button on my microphone.
Oh.
I just feel the cough come and I mute it, and
Yeah, same here.
There's a mute
Oh,
function.
well, professionals
well, Nick, there's a mute button in Discord if you need it.
I know there is, but
Oh, okay.
it's
is it
more
M?
fun to refer to.
I don't know if they actually press M, it'll mute. Maybe. I know there's a mute
I think
right
so.
there at the bottom.
So yeah, this brewery's been around since 1988, and I've been to the main brewery a couple of times. on the
Oregon's
coast,
finest, some would
as
say.
I'm sure we all have, and they were quite the pioneer in like craft brewing. But I just
Were you in
remember-
there? Or
They're quite the pioneer in carpet brewing too, I hear.
Yes. So I went in. We went in there as a big family one time. We got like 2 or 3 taster trays of like. So it was like 16 or 18 beers. Where you have a sip of them. And I have to say, at least half of them were like, I would say a third of them were undrinkable, i.e., they tasted so horrible or just like, ugh, what the hell is that? A third of them were like, meh, I'd forget about that. And then the third of them were like, oh, I actually really like that. So it's kind of, they're just all over the place. They throw a lot at the wall and see what sticks.
They're surfing on the success of Dead Guy. Let's be honest.
Yeah, Dead Guy is a good beer though.
Yeah, it is.
It's probably
I like it.
We should
I like
we should do an amber ale taste off. Just take all the like African and Dead Guy and
Drop top.
Drop Top and the Full Sail one.
Dead Guy.
It's not an amber.
Dead Guy's not an amber.
Is it?
They do actually have. Well,
I
technically,
think that was an
it's
old
like a
beer,
Maibach.
wasn't it? or
I thought it
something?
was an amber originally. It's just
Or
an
a
ale.
bock.
They just call it an ale.
No, it's a Maibach.
But they,
Oh, it is. Okay, I
but
got you.
but they do have they have an American amber ale, or they did at one point.
It's very
which-
similar though. It's very sweet, Dead Guy.
I think it's kind of interesting. I was looking at this, looking at their website because I haven't been to the brewery for a number of years, and I think the only ones I recognize on there are obviously the Dead Guy,
The Bat one. What's the Batter
Sh-
Squatch?
Shakespeare Stout. I mean, everything else, even the Bat one, that's a relatively new beer for them.
No, it's been around for a while.
But like they don't.
That's
it looks-
Squatch.
Yeah, that's been around for a while, hasn't it?
Bat Squatch. Yeah. I
I've
think
had
so,
that
a couple of years.
I've had that a few times.
They don't do what they don't do anymore is remember they used to do the like 4 hop, 5 hop, 6 hop, 7 hop beers, like 4%, 5. There were a series of IPAs and they got stronger depending on like the number.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, they have. They
But
don't
also,
do-
what they also don't do is the Voodoo Donut one either. So
thank goodness that was a pile of
good
crap.
for Tad. Never tried it.
Their gin is not very good. I can tell you that. I was not a fan of their gin.
Yeah, I remember the whiskey being a bit rough, but that was when they first brought it out, so maybe it's aged a little bit. But
I think I have a bottle downstairs actually.
I
Of their,
I
single
must
malt.
admit, I always preferred going. The Double Dead Guy was good, and the Santa's Private Reserve. Is
Oh, I
I
was-
love
love
the
the
Double
Double
Dead
Dead.
Guy. I also loved like the pink bottle it came in.
Yeah,
That's badass.
but I'm quite surprised actually, because looking at the website for this show, they really revamped the range of beers they used to have.
They're trying to
'Cause
legitimize.
there used to be a lot more like 22-ounce bottles of like certain beers.
I call it old and lazy. They used to be like a bunch of like just crazy motherfuckers. Now I think they're just old and lazy. I think that's what
Maybe
happens, like us. We just get
Maybe
old
they've
and
got the
lazy.
house
Well,
in order though, because
well,
I knew
you-
someone who used to
you-
work there, and they said it was the most disorganized workplace. It was a train wreck, and there was no planning, and they'd brew like 20 times more than they needed of stuff, and then they'd end up having to blow it out before it all went off, and it was just not a well
Yeah,
run place.
You mean it was
the
fun?
Rogue
Well, it was fun if you were in charge of the chaos, but if you weren't, it was like you go into work and it was just chaos every day.
I love being in charge of the chaos.
Well, the owner wasn't he. Where did the owner come from? He came from, I think, Nike.
Yeah.
Was it Jim Joyce?
One of them.
Yeah.
There's like a
one
partner.
of them
Yeah, one of them
came-
did.
So, and I actually don't think they're alive anymore, and they like passed it off to their son. Of course, if I was smart, I'd look it up and Google it and all that stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, it does seem to have settled down a lot. 'Cause
but I mean, yeah, even back in the day, I mean, there was a lot of they kind of spread out, just trying different things. As I think Dave mentioned earlier, just throwing stuff up on the wall and seeing what stick, like the Chipotle Ale, which was, I thought it was gimmicky and terrible. I mean, it was good in first couple drinks. I mean, I don't think I like spicy beers to begin with, but I mean,
yeah, they used to
they're
do a lot more beers with additives and herbs
Yeah.
and spices and various
Mhm.
other
Well,
And-
things.
there was a period in time where that was like the hot thing to do too. I mean, it just kind of
Yes.
seemed like that's what. So
and some marketing and kind of like marketing partnerships. I think like Morimoto they teamed up with and
They
released
still
a
do
line
that.
of beer. Oh, do they?
Yeah, the sober ale, because that's one of the interesting things about Rogue is they were one of the first breweries to not just like brew these styles of beer, but they were one of the first to establish partnerships and export to foreign countries. Like you can get Rogue beer in England.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the first ones I remember
I
seeing
mean,
that was an American beer that was in England, but they have a lot of relationships with the Japanese market, so there's they actually ship quite a bit overseas from what I've read.
which is probably why a lot of their kegs are in metric as opposed to imperial.
Possibly, I'm not sure how much keg wise they ship, but
I'm just saying that just from when I used to deliver their stuff, it was always in all their kegs were always in metric, not like the imperial. Like it wasn't always in the I can't remember what the sizes were. I just remember it was always in metric.
Wasn't called a half barrel.
No, it wasn't a half barrel. It was always in liters.
Interesting. Okay.
And I think there's other breweries that kind of do that too, probably for the same reason. But yeah, I just remember Rogue was like kind of the big one with their 50 different varieties of beer to deliver to various places, and they were always in.
yeah, in some respects, they've always kind of they've never really, other than Dead Guy, they've never really settled on
A flagship brew.
yeah, like Widmer has the the Hefeweizen, and it's like Rogue has the Dead Guy, and that's kind of like the beer that made the brewery.
Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of these breweries are that way. If we break it down, like Deschutes has their two beers, Mirror Pond and Black Butte. All their other beers, like I mean, they have a massive other collection of other beers, but largely they're just forgettable.
People love fresh squeezed and that.
I don't think
that's
so.
not for,
I don't.
not for me,
That's not
but
a good
it's
beer.
like
I don't think people like that beer.
I've
What?
met
There's
people
so
who
many.
really like that beer.
Ugh.
It's their go-to. So
Those are people that haven't drank beer. I mean, those IPAs are fine, but they're up there with Profuse Juice. I mean, they're just kind of meh.
I know you love mentioning that because I really like that beer. I need to retry that beer actually because maybe my palate's changed and maybe the.
Well,
it was-
we're also programmed to hate 10 Barrel, I believe. So,
True.
right, Nick?
Why? Because it's Budweiser?
Anyway, maybe we should go back to the beer we're actually drinking. So.
I think it's
Yeah.
no, I think it's a perfect. What we're talking about is perfect because this, like you said, this beer is kind of forgettable. It's fine, but
It's a great sessionable beer. If I had a cooler full of this and I've got a day of nothing to do and I'm just hanging around drinking beers, this is a great beer. I mean, it really is. It's tasty. It's
you know what? Crazy. The color really reminds me of the beer we had not too long ago, that Serengeti wheat. Like the color is
Yeah.
almost the same.
got a little bit of peach to it more, maybe, but
Maybe in your camera.
yeah, it could be the light here. But this is
It is really light. Do you
Yeah,
guys
it's
have a
pretty
lot
easy
of
to drink.
sediment? I mean, I have a crazy amount of sediment in mine.
I'm not seeing much, and I poured
Dude,
mine
I don't know if
pretty
you can see it, but
vertically.
I mean, I got like giant pieces in mine. Yeah, you see that shit? See the white speckle shit floating around?
I have that,
I have a shit ton of
but
it.
yeah,
Not to
whatever.
that degree on my side, but
I have
my lighting's
Yeah.
kind of garbage.
I saw a few specks of it.
I ain't got a few. I got like a fucking bag of chips in mine, dude.
I mean, I can feel it on my tongue. I mean, when you drink it, you can feel there's a little bit more of a texture.
Yeah, I feel like Rogue is kind of the twin of McMinimans when it comes to Oregon beers. Like they both formed about the same time, but they both went different directions. Rogue went more into like selling their beer in stores and doing all the rest of it, whereas Minimans went more towards the like buying old buildings and making them into destination pubs. But they both have the same kind of like the beer styles are both kind of similar, if you know what I mean. Then so
Right. Well, remember my
I-
party? This is where I got that beer from. So like I forget who brought it, but he brought like a variety pack. And so like that's where I got that beer from. But like so like I would I got it free, so I drank it. It's good. It's fine. Like if I had not purchased this, I would have been happy, It's like it's a good free beer. It's a good free beer.
yeah, I'd be very happy if I showed up at a party and there was a cooler full of this.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind so much.
I feel
Yeah,
like
we'll see.
it's a beer that wouldn't offend anyone, but by the same token, it's not going to set anything alight.
It's a good summer beer if you were to have a barbecue.
Yeah.
But it's
Or
it's mediocre at best, right? Like
Well, I do like that it's 5.5. It's like
but how many 5.5 beers would you prefer to this? Like there's a lot of beers. I mean, Stella's just
Yeah.
5%. I'd rather drink a Stella
I mean, if
yeah.
or a Corona.
just to keep it in the pale ale thing, if Widmer came out with their Drifter Pale Ale, I'd rather have that. But
Yeah, I like the Drifter. That was nice.
that was awesome. I
That's good
love
beer.
that beer.
You know what? I had a pale ale recently. There's a Ninkasi has a limited edition one out, the solar.
Yeah, I think I've had that one. I
It's
know the one you mean.
awful. It is. I think
Yeah.
it's fucking disgusting. I don't know. It's more. Jared might like it because I feel like it's kind of pale
I
ale
wouldn't go that
slash
far, but
sour,
yeah.
like slash sour.
Mm.
It's just
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
a
like.
flavor profile in it.
It's just
not-
weird.
not
I just
necessarily
not
for me,
into
but-
it. But and Ninkasi stuff, I'm usually it's either middle into good or great sometimes. But man, I just was not into it.
Yeah.
But like I
But-
know Jared likes that sour stuff, so he might dig it.
I also
Yeah,
think
yeah,
I
I'll
also
always
think
try and
it's
do
really
sour.
interesting that like Rogue has had a real push to get like these bigger cans out, and you see them in the gas stations now, and you see them quite a lot of places. They've really moved away from the 22 ounce the 20-ounce, 22-ounce bottles that they used to do with the screen printed labels, and they've moved heavily into the cans. I've got to imagine it's a lot cheaper to do this because their bottles were some of the, they were all screen printed and all very fancy bottles.
Also,
That cost a lot of money.
I'm really upset, Dave. Like, they took a picture of me with my fedora, my shirt off. I feel like I should sue them for the likeness.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was me, you'd be able to tell.
Well, I think
tent pole there.
I think after. Oh, I thought you were going with the tummy. Oh, with the giant British cock. I see. With the Union Jack flying off of it.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, you guys ready to? You guys ready to rate this fucker?
Yeah.
I'm just giving him a solid medium thumb.
That is what I'm gonna give it.
Yeah, it's a good beer.
It's
not
beer.
blowing any minds here.
Decent beer. There's better beers.
Yeah, this is not the best beer I've ever drunk, but it's not a beer I would kick out of bed by the same token. It's like, if I had another, I would drink it. What?
Yeah, I drink it too.
So that's 2 out of 4 thumbs this time. Aaron couldn't make it today.
So no Chubs.
Last week I couldn't make it.
2 Chubs. 2 Chubs up.
Yeah, 2 Chubs.
So because the summer's coming, Rogue, Newport Daze on the beach, summer, vibing, chilling. I'm gonna do Dead or Alive. Xtreme 3 beach volleyball, baby. It's not a great game, but what it does is
it's very good at physics, right?
It's woo. It also has this really awful mode where you can take the girl back to her bedroom and watch her sleep. I don't want to get into it too much because this was not
VR, right?
Not this version. Not
does
this
it have
version.
a VR mode?
It
No,
does.
Not that one.
Not this one though. There is a version that you can get that. It's a upgrade. So this game's not available. This is an import. I imported this. You can't get this in America. They won't allow it. So Dave, let me know if you want to borrow it. It's
of course he does.
Beach Splash was a really
this is different and creepy. Different. Anyway. So
and they didn't really put much work into it. I
no, they put a lot of games into it. They put work into it, Jared. It's a beautiful game. And there's a lot of cool mini games. The volleyball is so stupid though. Like anyway, that's not what it's about.
But this isn't a video game show, is it? But he picked a game with a beach in it with lots of very stacked women.
Days, stacked, sand. And that's what we do on this show. Except Jared's gonna pick a beer now.
I am. We're gonna do Red Stripe.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Red Stripe. Yeah,
haven't
it's
had
been a
Red
long
Stripe
time since
since
I don't
college.
even know if I've ever had that.
Dave is gonna have to drive up here and get some.
Yeah, I haven't had last time I had Red Stripe was probably in 1996, 97. That's how long ago.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen.
Yeah,
I honestly haven't seen it since the late 90s.
I remember stocking a lot of it when I worked in that beer company back in the 90s, late 90s. Yeah, people liked it back then.
It? I mean, I remember it being a decent lager. It's not.
So I didn't think I liked it, and then I had it recently, and I actually, it's pretty good actually. I don't know why I didn't like it the first time. I don't know if it was bad or I was on something else. I don't know, but it's actually a pretty solid beer.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. As Nick drinks it, as Nick pre-games, you should just drink it with a thumb up. He's just like,
pre-gaming for next week, son.
All right.
Anyway, that's next week's beer. I don't know if any of you play along, but if you play along, next week's beer is Red Stripe, and you can find us live on twitch.tv/couch co-op show, and you can drink along with us, or you have to wait a few. What?
I was gonna say you might not find it in Oregon. You might have to go up to Washington to find it because These I had to go up to Vancouver to get.
Right.
So I think I
Man,
got
not
a
another
total
one
one.
where
Hey,
I've got,
Dave.
like,
Dave, you buy some Trumer pills, and I will buy the Red Stripe, and we will exchange. Because I know that Nick wants to do Trumer pills.
Yes.
Yes,
I wanna
make
impress
sure
you.
you get at least 2 bottles across the border, okay?
He should get a 6-pack across the border. Because I need
Yeah.
2. I need 2, and Jared needs 1. So we need 3.
We need a smuggler.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
though, you know
I
what's
mean,
crazy? There was crazy though. I mean, downtown Vancouver is getting a New Seasons, so then we'll have 2. I'm hoping that at some point New Seasons, because like the New Seasons on the east side doesn't carry it, but all the New Seasons in Oregon do. No.
So the funny thing about that was like, and I'm not trying to foreshadow beyond Dave or Jared's Red Stripe selection, or Red Stripe pick, but looking around for Trumer pills in Washington, the closest in Washington is Olympia. I mean, that's not
That's what-
counting driving down
Down to Portland
get
is
it.
the easiest way to get it. Yeah,
I was gonna
100%.
say, Nick, it's
Yes,
like,
it is.
yeah, I'm sure I've seen that even at Fred's, but maybe
Yeah.
they don't have it anymore.
Yeah, the distributor in the local area doesn't
No,
carry it.
so they carry it. No, I looked it up on their website. They carry it everywhere in Oregon. Like all the New Seasons
Yeah.
have it. That's why I was saying, like,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that like once another New Seasons in Vancouver opens, maybe they decide to like
Maybe,
start.
but
Yeah, maybe the
so-
beer truck will come and
But
maybe, but so I have to ask, do you guys have Shiner Bock available up there in Vancouver? Because
I don't know.
that the
Jared
parent
would
company
know.
that
Yeah, it's here. In Total Wine, I saw it recently.
so who does is Shiner Bock Columbia or is it Stein?
That's a great question.
Wow, we're getting off topic.
yep.
Well, no, it's kind of on topic because the parent company that owns Shiner Bock is the same company that owns Trumer, and that's why I was asking in terms of distribution, which also might play into the fact why it's available up in like Olympia, Tacoma, and Seattle, if it's a Columbia product up there versus it being a Stein product down in Vancouver.
I do think it's interesting though how it's like, we're just across the river from each other, and sometimes we have a hard
Yeah.
time getting certain beers because we're on the wrong side of the river.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
like Red Stripe.
So anyway, Red Stripe next week, and if you guys are playing along at home, I hope you can find it. If you can, cool. If you're not, just watch us and enjoy. Drink
Total Wine up in Vancouver.
What's a lager that's super like it?
I don't know.
It's pretty close to like Coors Banquet. Anyway,
yeah, you shut your whore mouth.
Well, we'll table this discussion for next week.
Anyway, I want to thank Dave, Jared, and Nick for joining me here on the couch.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Glad I could be back.
Yeah.
For Couch
That was an enjoyable beer.
It was all right. It's all right. For Couch Co-op, please, Jared, what do we do?
Beer responsible?
I like drinking, doing the heavy drinking. What is that? Anyway,
Get fucked.
Get fucked.
Drink heavily, stay home.
Dave, get fucked.
Drinking the heavy lifting.